Today we're taking a look at Assassin's Creed Origins. I've just got back from E3, landed yesterday, and I finally got my voice back. When I was over in Los Angeles, I had a bit of a cold and I was talking to people all the time and my voice was just completely gone. That was really sad because I wanted to do a lot of gameplay commentary videos and release them whilst I was out there, but I just couldn't because I sounded awful. But now my voice has come back, so thanks for that voice box, and we can do these kind of videos again. So what you're seeing here is Assassin's Creed Origins, and I played this and captured it. That's what you're seeing on Xbox One X, the new Microsoft console, and this is running in 4K 30 frames per second. This particular title doesn't run at 60, and I don't think it's quite native 4K. Apparently they're using some kind of checkerboard technique to nearly get there, but I have to say that it does look very sharp in person, very nice graphics, and I think in terms of texture quality, lighting and draw distance, it is a upgrade from what we saw in the previous Assassin's game, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So what's the deal with Origins then? If you've been following along with the news or you're a fan of the series, you'll probably know that Assassin's Creed took a year off last year to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit and look at where the series was going, because I think it's fair to say that the last couple of games, Unity and Syndicate, felt very clockwork and everyone knew what to expect, and there really wasn't any innovation there. The games weren't as fresh as they used to be, or indeed as impressive. So there are a few key differences with this game. I'm just going to stop there a second though, because that's a hippo and I hijacked a boat, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to 1v1 that hippo. I've never fought a hippo in a video game or in real life. Wouldn't recommend it. It's probably really dangerous. Apparently hippos kill more people a year than sharks. Something like that. That sounds like a made up statistic, but I read that somewhere like years ago. I can't. It's probably completely made up, or I've just got it completely wrong. But there you go. Hippos, very dangerous. And if I see an opportunity to 1v1 a hippo, I'm not going to say no to that, am I? I'm just going to go for it. But I killed the hippo. I looted him because apparently he was carrying gold coins or something. I don't know. We're Normandy now. Boom. On the beach. And I'm on a bit of a mission here. The game is a lot more open world than previous Assassin's Creed games. I know they're usually quite large with big cities and open areas. This one is set in ancient Egypt. And there's all sorts of stuff going on here. Little kids running around. But it does feel a lot more free roam and open worldy. It kind of reminded me a bit more of the Zelda games than the classic Assassin's Creed games. And you may notice that they've actually got rid of the minimap. In the bottom left hand corner in Assassin's Creed games there's normally a minimap. That's gone now, and it's been replaced with that kind of compass bar at the top where there's loads of question marks and objective markers. So you're actually going to have to use your eyes and your ears to get around a bit, especially when you're doing missions like this. But this little kid, incredibly cute. She's in some kind of trouble. I don't know, like someone's taken over a house over there, something like that. But this is the dude that you play as. He's called Bayek, which is actually a phrase in Yorkshire. I don't think any English people actually worked on the game, but Bayek is like a phrase that you say if you're from Yorkshire in England, if you're surprised at something. So I've switched to my eagle here. This is the new eagle vision, so to speak. This is an eagle called Senu, who has some of the coolest sounds I've heard when you spot things. So I've gone to this compound, I've used my eagle, flying him around. Him? Is it him or her? I don't know. It's an eagle, whatever. Spotted some enemies. There's a couple at the gate. We're going all stealthy. It's a bit more classic Assassin's Creed now. You can use the foliage there as cover. And I dropped down here thinking, oh, I can do some kind of cool double assassination. Not the case. Apparently you've got to like upgrade to get all that good stuff. There's like a proper skill tree in the game now. And if you want to kind of focus on your hidden blade, which you can do, you'll be able to one-shot even like the baddest of enemies further down the line. But it's not something that you just automatically get. You can't just one button assassinate all of the enemies or bosses in the game anymore because of this new skill tree system. And you can kind of go into melee, stealth or ranged or a bit of everything. The combat has completely changed as well, but we will get onto that later because I've got some footage of the Gladiator Arena. It's kind of like a new component in the game where you fight waves of enemies, because the combat has actually improved massively over the previous Assassin's Creed games. But if you come up against a guy like this just on his own, that's an easy hidden blade kill. Climb up here. They've actually changed the free running to the A button now as well. It used to be right trigger, I think, but it's now on A. Missed the assassination on that dude, but we climbed up anyway. Boom. Shanked him in the neck. So you may have seen in that previous fight when I was talking, you do have ranged weapons now as well. There have been ranged weapons in Assassin's Creed before, like little pistols and rifles or whatever. But this dude has a bow and arrow. And I think you can change it out as well. There's all sorts of like ranged weapons, like spears you can use. You can upgrade the bow and arrow so you can fire like 3 or 5 arrows at once as well. So you can be like that scene in Wonder Woman. Spoiler if you haven't seen the movie, by the way, but it's a very cool scene. Taking out the guards, I think this is the last dude here. I was looking for like an assassinate jump down thing there, but maybe I was too far away, but we got him anyway. Headed to the house. There's the objective. It's like a note on the ground. Turns out that the little girl has gone to try and deal with the problem herself. But she's like 6. Come on, kid. What are you doing? So we've got to go chase after her and find her. Some parkour here. I thought I'd throw this in. Parkour! Just so you kind of know what it looks like. It's just, you know, it's classic Assassin's Creed, really. And I saw this dude on a horse. He's an enemy. Not having that. Get off that horse. The horse just runs off as well. I didn't even take it. But you can ride camels as well. Of course you can. It's Egypt. There's elephants in the game too as well, I think. And I'm assuming that you can ride the elephants, because if you can't, then that's a massive missed opportunity. It's an elephant. Of course you want to ride it and just charge into battle with it. But we're heading over to another compound here. And I wanted to do this real sneaky beaky like. Get in the long grass. Velociraptor style. This guy's done for. I think we just kind of like grab him out of the bushes. And while I was assassinating him, I was lining up this guy for the bow and arrow headshot. Oh, that was going to sting. Get the eagle in, Senu. Because there are a couple more bad guys here. Spot them. Again, no mini-maps, so you don't see the enemies on the map. But because we've used Senu there, we can spot them on the 3D HUD. Eagle vision, as it's called. This dude's like a boss. And I thought, instead of getting caught up in like a skirmish with him, I'd just sneakily assassinate him. He's absolutely massive, that guy. He's like 7 foot tall. And these two are just a couple of easy kills while they're chilling out, smoking the hashish or whatever the hell they're doing. I don't know. And one thing I actually wanted to mention, that tower's just reminded me. As far as I know, or from what I played, there aren't any towers in this game. It's become a trope of Ubisoft games like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, that you climb up a big structure and then when you get to the top it unlocks everything in the area, but this game didn't actually have those in, so that's quite interesting. You can climb towers and big buildings to kind of get a overview of an area, I suppose, but as far as I know it doesn't have that system in place. So I don't know if that means that they're going to get rid of the leap of faith when you kind of like jump from the tallest building into the hay bales, because that's quite a staple of Assassin's Creed games, and I think a lot of fans of the series might be quite sad that that's gone now. I don't know if it's gone, but in this demo there wasn't any of that. I'm sure there will be some points in the game though where you climb like a massive structure and get to jump off, but no towers, so to speak, that we've seen in the previous games. I think that's cool though. I mean, it really plays into the open world aspect of go places, see things, discover things, and the side quest system in this game, the stories are actually decent story side quests rather than just the repetitive things that we saw in the last couple of Assassin's Creed games where it's just like a revolving cycle of side missions and the same things over and over again. So the developers of this, they're actually the guys that made Black Flag, have promised that the side missions are going to have actual stories and be very unique and interesting. That remains to be seen if that will continue throughout the whole game, but from what I've played so far, there were a couple of side missions in this demo that I haven't showed you, and they were quite interesting stories of like a kid stealing stuff, being beaten up by a priest and weird stuff going on. Apparently this game is going to have a lot of that ancient Egypt mythological stuff in, like mummies. And when I was a kid, I was absolutely obsessed with ancient Egypt and pyramids and mummies, sarcophagus, all that kind of stuff, because it really intrigued me. And there's one trailer for this game where you actually see the character Bayek fighting a massive snake, like this ancient armored snake. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that and finding some dungeons and temples and burial grounds that are cursed. There could be some really interesting side quests and story ideas there. They said that the NPCs as well that you get the stories from have life cycles, so to speak, so they'll wake up, walk around, do their job, go to bed, and if you want to discover these side missions and quests, you'll have to find them at the right time and right place and interact with them. I digress. So what you've been seeing here is the arena, and this is the revamped combat in the game. And you may have noticed that it doesn't have one at a time syndrome anymore, which I absolutely hated in the previous Assassin's Creed games, where you would be surrounded by like 5 enemies and only one of them would attack you at a time. But in this game, it seems that lots of people can attack you at once, and it's made it a bit more difficult, and the whole combat system has changed now. It's more of like a Dark Souls system now. In the previous games, it was just mash the same button, get the right timings, incredibly easy. But they've increased the difficulty with this one, so now it's always behind the shoulder. You've got light attack, heavy attack, you've got a shield which you can block with, you can parry with the shield, you can evade, you can roll. There's all different kinds of melee and ranged weapons as well, and those weapons have different stats, so it's not like just a one-size-fits-all thing. You can equip different weapons and kind of tweak them and tune them to how you like. And yes, it did make the combat a lot more difficult. I was fighting this boss guy here and having a bit of difficulty. He nearly killed me at one point, but we managed to finish him off in the end. And the game has this like rage meter now where you can build it up and do a special attack if you get like consecutive attacks. So the combat is definitely a lot more rewarding and engaging. It's a bit more difficult, way more fun than the previous Assassin's Creed games, I can tell you that for a fact. It's not as difficult as a game like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but it's definitely a nice gap in between. It's probably the biggest change that I noticed in this new game. And I think I've about covered everything there from the demo that I played. It was about 40 minutes or something like that. Story mission, couple of side quests, and then this arena at the end. I enjoyed it. I have to say, it was quite refreshing to play a much more open world version of Assassin's Creed. The only thing that I haven't really mentioned is the wildlife. It's going to have kind of like a Far Cry wildlife system where there's all sorts of stuff roaming around and you can hunt it and loot it. I think it's even got crafting in the game as well, but don't quote me on that one. So overall, in this little demo that I played, I had fun with the new Assassin's Creed. It didn't feel like it was holding my hand as much as the previous games. Like I said though, I hope that they can retain this level of quality and the free roam open nature throughout the whole game, because if they do, then I think they're onto a winner here. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.